Sup dudes, welcome back to the channel. Guess what we're gonna do? You got it. We're gonna thermal paste another BBSHD. We're thermal pasting another BBSHD. Let's do this. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna need our Allen keys, hex wrenches, whatever you like to call them. Here's the BBSHD in question. This is the one that we're gonna thermal paste. First things first, guys, we got to get our 3mm Allen, and we're going to pop off this housing where the controller for the BBSHD normally goes. Then we can pop our cover up off of here. Alright, so now I'm going to disconnect all of the connectors in here. Alright, now the next step, I usually pull these face wires and then kind of make them straight, and then we're ready for the next step. So I'm gonna spin this guy around. I'm not sure if the GoPro is filming anymore or not, because the screen on my phone has now frozen up. Wow, so what I'm seeing here is these screws were actually riding out of this thing. Look how far that came out. Wow, that's crazy. So it's a good thing I took this thing apart, because that is something else, buddy. So I guess I'll deal with that later. I'm gonna keep carrying on with the main thermal pasting that we want to do here. Oh man, so this thing is a little bit different. This chip here, interesting. Gonna have to think about that. I can just tell my GoPro is gonna overheat any second, guys. So look at this. This is crazy. This thing was like definitely coming really loose. Look at this. Wow. So I guess when you put this part on, make sure that it's pretty tight. I forget how I put it on there. I thought I used an impact, and I had it on there probably on like the first setting on my impact. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that has to go on there pretty good. Oh, what was that? That didn't sound good. So let's see here. What is in here? There's like some black stuff in there. What is that? Yeah, we're gonna have to look in there. Is it the moly grease that got in here? It's just all like black in there. I don't know. Is that like the peak gear? Like grinding up, or what is that? We'll look at that in a little bit. Alright, well, GoPro turned itself off again because it got too hot. But so here we are. I've got the motor core of the BBSHD, and we're gonna put some thermal compound in there. But first, we need to get this rotor out, so that the rotor is, it's in here. It's this twisty boy, the big twisty boy that's hanging out. Right, so we gotta pull that thing out. I mean, it's just pressed in there, and it's kind of being held in there by the magnets. So my strategy for pulling the rotor is, you're gonna need a grippy glove, something like this. You see those little, the gripper texture? That's what we need. So, was it polyurethane? I don't know. It says right here, these symbols on there. I don't know what that means, but so here's how we're doing it. I'm gonna attempt to do it on camera. This is a feat that I have not accomplished yet. And so here's how we pull out the BBSHD rotor by hand. Literally, get the grippy glove, get it going, you want to wipe all of the grease off of the twisty guy, this gear right here on the rotor. So then when you've got as much grease off of the rotor as you can get, you just take your grippy glove, right, and you grab in there as good as you can, right, and being careful about the circuit board right here, right, and then we've got like phase wires and stuff down here, so make sure you're just grabbing onto the rotor, the twisty guy, and then get your, I get my hand like this, like around the edge here where these things are sticking out, and you can really hold on to it. And then what I do is I just kind of start seeing how it is. Okay, so sometimes you just gotta give it a little bit of a wiggle. Yeah, okay, so I've got some wiggling action happening. Okay, so now you can see with a little bit of wiggling and pulling, it's looking like this. Right, so it's starting to come out. Then get our hands back into the magical spot where we can kind of brace ourselves. Hopefully this is in the camera. And then, so we're going back to pulling. We're gonna pull it. Ugh. Pulling and wiggling. Ugh. Okay, whew, man. So, not without a few little mixed scrapingtons, but there's always an element of scraping that happens when you pull it out by hand. Alright, so we just want to make sure that this thing is like staying clean here. Alright, so we got that rotor out. So let's see, what do we have going on down in here? It looks like I accidentally snapped one of those ropes, maybe, or else I don't know. I see down inside of here, there's one of those tiny little ropes that like ties everything together, and it's just kind of like loosey-goosey down in there. So I don't know, I'm probably gonna have to like cut that or something with a flush cutter. So we're gonna get this guy out of here and then do the thermal paste mod. This thing looks different than my other BBSHD that I got from Luna. It's a little bit different. Alright, well anyways, let's continue with the thermal paste action. I gotta get a Sharpie. GoPro. Alright, so I'm gonna take my Sharpie and then we're gonna make marks where the sides of this this black like plastic ring thing are. So I'm gonna make a mark. See if we can get this in the camera. So I'll make a mark right here, just like down and along that whole thing. Okay, like that. I'll make another one right here. Alright, so carrying on with the thermal paste operation, let's take these screws out. And we're not going to pull them all the way out, we're just going to loosen them until they're just kind of like riding up and down in the screw hole, where you can pull them out if you want, but we're not going to pull them out all the way. So we're going to keep doing that to all these screws. And we don't want to pull this Hall sensor circuit board off of here. We just want to leave that on there. We're going to try and pull out these copper windings and this stator just all as one piece after we loosen these screws out. Alright guys, major problem, major issue. I turned off the camera and I almost just like stopped recording because I wasn't sure if I was going to make this a video or not. But this stator on this BBSHD, it looks completely different than the one on my other BBSHD that I got from Luna like 3 or 4 years ago. But so then I went on Luna's website to the motor core, and I looked at the pictures of the motor core that they sell, and it looks like this one. So I mean, I guess Bafang must have changed how they assemble these motor cores and get this stator down in here, but I mean, it's down in there so good that like it will not, I took all the screws out and it will not come out. Like that thing is just stuck in there. I mean, it looks like basically like the same gap, you know, like I don't know if there's some kind of adhesive or what down there, but I mean, I took the screws out and I put some 4mm Allens down in there, and I mean, I put one over on this side and then I put another one over here, and man, I mean, I was trying to twist this thing to get it to rotate in here, and like that thing is just, it is in there, buddy. Like that thing will not spin, it will not move, like it is just stuck in there. So this one's different, like it's just stuck in there. I don't know if there's like an adhesive or what. I mean, when I'm looking at it, when you put all the screws in there, the only 2 holes that are left are these holes right here. So I don't know if there's some way that you can like stick some kind of like tool down in here, or like if these holes were just for part of assembling it or what. But I mean, there's no, I made it a little short, and somebody asked, well, if the gap is so tight, do you even need thermal paste? And that's true. I mean, if there's no air gap and it's so tight that you can't even get it out, then maybe you don't need thermal paste. Like you would think that. But the thing is my other BBSHD that I got the thermal paste into, it just runs cooler and it stays cooler than this one, basically like all the time. So the thermal paste in my other motor was helping, and that one just performs better than this one. So like the thermal paste helped in some way, right? But I can't get this one out, so I don't know. I mean, I almost stopped recording. I wasn't sure what to do, but I think what I'm gonna do is, like, I took all the screws out. This thing, like, it just will not come out. And I was gonna put another thermistor in this BBSHD, but it's got one right here, and I don't know. I mean, it's got some kind of like hard thing, some kind of hard like see-through glue that they put on here. And so I think I could maybe take a flush cutters and cut at it and get this little like thermistor that's in line right here. Like, I mean, maybe I could get that one out, but I don't know if I could get those solder pads cleaned off good enough to solder my other thermistor on there. And like, I don't have a small soldering iron that for like this micro soldering, so I don't even know. Whoa, I just about lost it there. I don't even know, like, I don't know that there's a whole lot I can do in this one, really. Like, so I don't know. I mean, the thermal paste in BBSHD, the future of the thermal paste in the BBSHD is kind of like hanging in the ether. I mean, maybe you don't need it if it's press fit so good in there, but I have the feeling there's like some kind of adhesive or something that they use, because I don't know, on my other one, like, that was pretty heavy, the stator and all, like the guts that's pressed down in there that I want to get out, that stuff was heavy on the other motor, and when I flipped it upside down, like, it just came sliding out, right? So in this one, it's like, you know, it just, like, it doesn't budge. It's just in there. So that's a bummer. Somebody left a comment. They said, well, if the gap is so tight, do you need thermal paste? And I was thinking, well, should I pump it down in all these screw holes, and then we'll just like force the screws down in there, and maybe it'll kind of like, I don't know. I mean, because I guess I was almost just gonna return this thermal paste to Amazon because I don't even know if I can use it here. But and I don't even know, this stuff is so thick, I don't even know that you could fill these holes because this stuff is so thick, right? Like, so I don't know. I guess I'll try and get some down in there, but this stuff is just so thick that, like, I'm just gonna be pumping and pumping, and it's probably gonna be trying to come out the top the whole time, you know? So I guess let's see. Alright, so I'm just sitting here, guys, and I'm getting really creative tonight. I'm not giving up yet, guys. I just need a little refresher. So in the spirit of not giving up, I decided, well, hey, what if I smushed all of that thermal paste down in there with my 4mm Allen? And that's exactly what I've just done, guys. So we're accomplishing the same thing. It's just in a different way. Let's get this poppin', boys. You ain't stopping me, Bafang. You ain't gonna stop me from getting thermal paste down in there. Better luck next time, Bafangers. Alright, so how I'm doing this, guys, is I took my little 45G thermal compound and I got it nice and flat going down in there, and then I just started pumping until it felt like it just was coming out the edges or something. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, it's just coming out the edge now. Alright. So then it's getting on my fingers. So what you gotta do is you can't let this stuff, it's gonna get everywhere, but you gotta do your best to not get it everywhere. Okay, there is a little bit of a problem where the thermal paste gets stuck on this thing when you pull it out. I still don't know if there's a solution to that. I don't think there is. We're making it happen, guys. Bafang ain't stopping me. Let's get that down in there, start pumping. Alright, so I'm just kind of doing it like this until it seems like it's overflowing. That's how I like it. Oh man, we got a lot on that one. Alright guys, I'm making a mod to the schnozzle, the needle of my MX4 thermal compound. We're making a mod. I'm taking a really sharp tweezy guy, those really sharp tweezers, and then we're going to poke down. So this is the cap that goes on the schnozzle of the thermal paste. So this is usually how you cap it off. But we're going to use this cap and turn it into an extended schnozzle. So we're gonna push this. Alright guys, so I just took a 1/16 drill bit and the mallet, and I just went boop boop boop, popped a hole on the end of the schnozzle here. So now we're gonna get this back onto the pumper. So now we have a nice schnozzle for pumping our paste. Let's see, can we pump it? Oh, there we go. Nice. So we've got a nice schnozzle now. Oh man, these work gloves are shot. This stuff truly gets all over the... Alright guys, check this out. So this is why we never give up. Alright, so we've got a new way to pump it in there that works even better. At least I think. I haven't tried it yet. We're gonna try it together. Right now. Let's, I'm gonna start pumping this in there. Oh. So I wanna just get it down in there real good, as far as it'll go. And then just start pumping. Oh, I can feel it going. I can feel it going. There's definitely more going in there. And then when it starts to kind of like erupt out the top, I'm just going to bring my schnozzle over to another spot and do the same thing. And I'm pumping it down in all the big screw holes. This one's already sufficiently filled up. What about this guy right here? Can we get more down in there? Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Guys, when life gives you lemons, just give it thermal paste right down the cracks. Indiscriminately. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got some in there. Actually, quite a bit. I mean, this is a 45 gram tube, so I mean, I got some down in there, I guess. But so now, I'm gonna try and wipe some of this excess down this hole here. Where'd my schnozzle go? Alright, so what I learned last time, guys, is you want to clean this stuff up so that you never have to deal with it again. That's very annoying. It gets all over the place. So let's just do a good job of cleaning this off right now so that we never have to see this stuff again, hopefully. So, I mean, I guess I kind of see what they've done here. The thermistor is on this circuit board, and it's basically like 2 millimeters away from the windings. Like, there is a little bit of an air gap in between the windings and the thermistor, but I mean, that circuit board is so close to the windings, like, it is quite close. So I don't know. I mean, we'll just put it back together. I don't feel like putting a different thermistor back in this one, so we're gonna put the screws down in the hole with the thermal paste that we've installed, and we're gonna see how that goes. It's definitely wanting to come back up out of there, but we're just gonna put the screws down in there and then screw them in and call it good, is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna hold this little plastic piece down as I'm pushing the screws down in there. And then as I'm doing that, some of this goop is coming out. As long as I'm holding that plastic bit down, as I'm pushing the goop down, all of the, as long as I hold down this black plastic piece, while I'm pushing the screw down, the goop is coming out the front. And that actually worked pretty good. There's not any goop coming out on the inside, it's all kind of like pushing out towards the top here. So I'm just gonna screw this one down in there. Alright guys, so the rotor I'm just gonna pop back in here, and we're gonna have to see how this goes. Probably won't work as good as my other thermal pasting did. So that should be down in there. I always kind of press around just to make sure that that bearing down in there is all the way down in there. And then we'll get this guy going back into the other piece. And these screws actually, like, you want these screws to go in there really good. So I'm going to snug up each of them first. Okay, so then, alright guys, I took the rest of this thing apart and it's still got the same grease I put in there before. It still looks kind of red, maybe slightly darker. Seems okay. I'm just gonna put some more in there. Alright, so here's what I did. Bunch of grease, putting it back on.